Hello and welcome to Think Like a Rebel, and this is how to make money on Twitch. You're probably sitting there thinking one of three things. You've heard of Twitch, maybe you watch some live streamers use this platform and you're thinking, yes, I can't wait to learn how does it all work? Alternatively, maybe you've heard the name, but you don't really know what it's all about. You're looking for new ideas and you just want to experiment with something. Thirdly, you might even have no idea what I'm on about, but you're here anywhere for the ride and let's do this together. So we're going to spend probably the next 30 to 45 minutes talking about just some of the basics. And I will say this up front now, there's a lot of research to do. All of this, folks, is my personal experience and the experience of my friends, other people I've met along the way, and the community that I want to pass on to you. But there will be some little specifics that are just down to your situation. So I've got some top tips, some things to watch out for, and some explanation that should help you get on your way. So let's dive into it. We've got a few things to go through, but I want to start with just a little bit of basics of what is Twitch. As I said, a few of you might be sitting there thinking, I have no idea what this guy's on about. What even is Twitch? And simply, it's broadcasting. Times have changed. I don't know about you, but I don't watch daytime TV. I stick to things like Disney Plus, a bit of Netflix every now and again, but mostly I spend my time watching content creators that do stuff I enjoy. They excite me. I can't remember the last time I watched like a soap opera or something like that. Like, times are different now, and how we digest content, how we entertain ourselves, it's a new world. So we can be part of it and we can get involved. And what this lets you do as a provider, as an entertainer, as a live streamer, is live stream something you're passionate about to the world, to anyone out there. As long as they've got an internet connection, they can watch you. So most of you might have heard of this through gaming. Twitch became very, very popular through, I guess, a program for people to share games. So you might have individuals that are playing a video game while streaming what they're watching, and there'll be a little version of them in the corner, just like there's a little version of me in the corner of your screen. Artists, Twitch has been taken over by tons of artists that will be live with an easel and they'll be painting a canvas, they'll be creating things. Musicians. The amount of musicians I see on Twitch and they've managed to plug their guitar into their computer and they just sit there riffing. They're taking song requests, they're creating new music, and they're playing to a live audience. Like, think of that. Bands used to set up in local little pubs and little venues, playing to crowds of 10 people. Now I see bands online playing to crowds of hundreds every night, but through a camera and through technology and everything else in between. And finally, even influencers are doing this. Do you know, there's a whole section on Twitch which is called Just Chatting. And it's for people just talking, having a conversation. There's like me, an individual in front of a camera talking to an audience that are interacting in the chat. There's a whole section just for chatting. That's crazy. So what I just wanted to explain here is that this is a platform for you to express yourself. You can show your passion, you can show off what you're doing, you can entertain. It's not just about showing content, it's about putting on a show. And that's what Twitch lets you do. It's a free platform for broadcasting your own thing. So whether you're here because you want to get into gaming, whether you're here because you're an artist and you want a new way of expressing your content, maybe you just want to connect with a community. It's an option. It's an option for you. So what next? This is something that probably was one of my biggest learnings when it comes to Twitch, and it's getting familiar with your setup. I just want to go through a few things that really caught me out at first and really tripped me up because I didn't know this stuff. I was going into it completely blind. So let's get started. This looks like a wordy slide, I know. I hate putting up loads of words on the screen. I prefer to show you something fun and interesting, but it's important. And this is tech basics. So the basics of this, folks, is depending on what you're doing, there'll be one or two things happening. If you're like me, you're just talking to a camera, like maybe you're one of those people in the just chatting section, or you're an artist that's creating, whatever you're doing. If you're just talking to a camera, you've just got one thing going on. You've just got the screen. You've just got you talking to the screen. That's one process. If you're looking to do this from a gaming perspective, suddenly you've got two things going on. You have the stream, which is you talking, and the camera, and the chat, and people interacting with you. But secondly, you have the game itself. And sometimes that might require another device. So maybe you go live from a laptop or a computer or something like that. You go live from a machine, but you might need a games console that you've got to actually run the game, to play the thing. And you see there's two different processes going on there. So depending what you decide to do, you're going to have different layers to this. And that's really important to know when you're researching and when you're looking into this. Because if you're trying to stream a game, you might have a games console that lets you stream direct from it. Easy peasy, push a few buttons, you're live. But you might not. You might go, well, I want to have a guitar that I'm going to plug in and I need people to hear. It just adds another layer to your research. So when you're looking this stuff up, be aware, depending on what you're doing, you might have to do a little bit of extra research. What I will say up front though is I see a lot of people when they're trying to get into this stuff, they go, oh, I need all this fancy equipment, and they make the biggest shopping list. I know Christmas might be around the corner, but at the same time, don't go out and buy this stuff straight away, please. What I'd recommend you do first, like before you buy anything, is what can we borrow? Can we be a little bit cheeky? Can we borrow this stuff? Like, who do you know that's got a webcam? Maybe family members do because they now work from home and they've got one. I'll be honest, that's how I do mine. My streams is technically a work webcam. Is there a microphone you can borrow? My housemate's really big on his own digital content. He puts a lot of stuff out into the world. So he's got this standalone USB microphone. Luckily, he doesn't use it on the days that I go live. So I've been very cheeky and I've asked him to buy it. To borrow it, sorry, not buy it. Like, the idea I'm getting to here, folks, is before you go and spend loads of money, what do we borrow? What do you already have? What's available to you? Because we don't want to be spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, because that stuff adds up before we even know we like it, right? We want to experiment cheaply and as quickly as possible. The less things we have to wait for Amazon or wherever to deliver, the quicker we can get on with this. What I want to do, folks, is just before we move on to the next section, I'm going to just check the chat with you because I've got it on my phone here, and I want to make sure that I'm interacting with you as much as possible. There is a slight delay, so when I say something, you might find that I'm about 20 seconds behind, but I'm just going to quickly check to see if there are any messages in the chat for the time being. Cool. None I can see. That's fine. What you might find is that you're probably watching this on replay. If you are, I'll just pause periodically just to see if there are any messages in the chat. Cool. We're all good at the moment. Let's move on. Better quality takes more juice. Do you think that's correct? Do you think it takes more energy, more effort, more power to put out better quality stuff? If you said yes, you would be correct. I want you to think of picture and sound as data. Like when you're seeing me through this camera, the camera is picking up some image and it's trying to put it somewhere. When you're hearing me, the microphone is picking up some sound and it's trying to put it somewhere. Picture and sound is data. If I want to have higher quality picture and higher quality sound, if I want to put it to more places, that takes more data being moved from one place to another. And if I'm moving more data, that's going to take more juice. It's going to take more strain on my internet. It's going to take more strain on my machine. And trust me, I know this, because when I first started streaming, I tried to just use one computer. I had my computer at home. I thought, yeah, I'll be able to play games on it, and I can run the stream, and I can have a microphone plugged in and a webcam so they can see my face with crystal clear quality. You can see all the pores on it. And you can see the game and amazing graphics and everything else. I thought I could do it all on one poor machine. And as soon as I hit live, it just melted. It couldn't handle it. There was smoke coming off of it. Everything, all the dials were at max. So Steam wasn't really Steam. They don't run on Steam anymore. But everything was happening and it just couldn't cope. So I had to lower the quality a little bit and just accept that, you know what, for now, I might not be able to run the thing at like 4K, for example. That's going to be ridiculous. I can't run it at wild resolutions. Can we just stay back? Can we calm down for a moment? Just run it at what I can. So it took me a little while to figure out my system, my build, my setup. How could that run? What was that capable of pushing out? So that's what I had to learn. So really, it is down to you to experiment and figure out where your limit lies. If you're streaming games through a console, what quality can that put out before the steam and the fireworks and everything starts coming out the back? If you're using a computer or a laptop, like, what quality can you put out? How fast is your internet? Can you transmit enough data to switch? Can you put enough out there? Or is it going to be a bit jumpy because I'm not doing a robot live on YouTube, it's not happening, but can you see a bit of jumpiness because maybe you're not quite quick enough? The next thing to look at is better quality. Let's talk about what's next. So, as I said, folks, we're going to look at this in 4 chunks. The first is just figuring out what you have to use. What laptop you've got available, what computer, what games console, do you have a camera, do you have a mic? Which, by the way, if you don't, that's fine. I've seen some streamers out there that they're playing games and they don't even have a camera on it. They're just talking. They just sit there, they've got their little headset and they talk and they play. It's grand, it works. People are entertained. So that's the first step, is figuring out what you have at your fingertips. Then we need to look at what's next. Well, I've got my setup, good. What do we do next? Well, you need to decide what your channel is all about. You're not going to watch a film or watch a TV show. You're not going to dive into some great content unless you know what it is. Well, you might be curious, but could you imagine if you went on to, say, Netflix, and every single little box where normally they have a picture of the film, the trailer, the description, all of that stuff. Could you imagine if you went on there and every box had a question mark? Nothing told you what it is. Like, you wouldn't know what to watch. You'd have to start watching it, get 10 minutes in and go, this is rubbish. Try again. Like, if we don't tell people what we're all about, if we don't decide what content we're going to do, does anyone know what we're going to broadcast? How does anyone know what entertainment we're providing? Remember, people search for things they're interested in. We need to be clear with what we're doing. And let me give you 2 examples. Like, this is the point where if you're sitting there going, what would I do? I want you to start noting down what you would actually talk about, what you'd actually do. What's your content? This is the point where I want you to start noting that down and thinking, what would I do? So, for example, while you're writing, if you're playing games, what games are you playing? Are you doing a variety? Are you sticking to one genre? Maybe there's one game that you really like and you're going to focus in on that. You're going to go, I want to be the biggest streamer for this community, whatever game that might be. You might go, you know, I play that a lot. I really enjoy it. I'm good at it. I'm going to focus on that one thing. Or you might go, oh, I really like action and adventure, or I'm big into horror stuff. Like, I like the jump scares, I like the excitement, the adrenaline. But you go, I'm a horror game streamer. Or if you're a musician and you're using this as a way to maybe play live shows with a band or write your own songs, self-promotion, whatever this is for, what genre of music do you play? Are you a jazz band? Are you a rock band? Are you a DJ that's putting out sets? Like, what's the genre? What are you putting out into the world? And the more information you can give, the easier it is for people to find you, because they're finding what they want. And if you're providing entertainment, which is up their street, up their alley, you're going to have a match. That's what we're looking for. It's also going to help you further along down the line when it comes to actually writing your profile, what your About Me section, what you're up to, your streams, all that good stuff. if you know what you're doing, suddenly writing all that information becomes 10 times easier. Which moves me on to my next point. Like, once we've got our setup, we've decided what we're actually going to create, it's time to start doing it. So you can sign up to Twitch for free. Like, if you're new to this and you're going, I've never done Twitch before, I'm new to this, I'm completely fresh into this world, you can join Twitch for free. You might even have an account already. If you've got an Amazon Prime account, you'll have something called Prime Gaming. Twitch and Amazon have partnered together to try and boost each other's companies. So actually, if you've got an Amazon account, you can sign into Twitch using that account, and it will be under something called Prime Gaming. So you might even have an account already, or be able to register one for free. So step one, you create your account. And just like any social media platform out there today, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever the different platform is, you build out your profile. You select a picture. You have a banner, like a cover photo, which I'm telling you now is a great place to advertise what you do. You have an About Me section. You've got everything else on there. You've got a schedule, so you can tell people what days, what times you're going live. Which I'll tell you now, like that schedule, that is so important. If people can look at that and go, oh, he's live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or he's live every Saturday for 4 hours, bang. They know exactly when to tune in. They can almost plan it. If you tell people with 2 minutes notice that you're going live, don't expect too many people to show up, because they might be eating dinner, they might be out and about, they're probably going to be busy. But if they know with warning, they can actually be ready for it, they can make time, they can set their plans around it and tune into your live stream. So we make our profile, we set that stuff up, we create it, we've built our Twitch profile. Now, when you start going live, at first, it's going to feel a little bit slow. You might not have that many viewers. I mean, what I did at first, just to help me through those first initial streams, is I asked a lot of friends and family, I said, look, you might not be that interested in the content I'm putting out there. Would you mind just hopping on, just to kind of hold my hand almost through the first few streams? Like, that stuff definitely helps. So maybe ask some friends and family, but it will feel a little bit slow at first, and it will start to gradually build momentum. Now, I want to talk to you about the money side of it. Like, you can make money outside of Twitch at any point. Like, you could set up your free account today and you could start trying to sell people t-shirts. The difficulty with that is that you probably don't have an audience just yet. Or if you do, you could have been selling t-shirts to them anyway without Twitch. Like, that stuff takes a little bit of time. As you are gradually building up an audience, as you are gradually getting involved with this stuff, you will start to hit different requirements. And once you hit these requirements, you can actually start making money within Twitch. This is the bit I want to talk to you about. So for example, if in a 30-day period, you hit these requirements, and they're on screen, so reach 50 followers, stream on 7 different days, have 8 hours streamed, and have an average of 3 viewers across all your videos. So maybe one day you have 2 viewers, the next day you've got 5. As long as it averages 3 or higher, you will get an email from Twitch. They go, hooray, congratulations, you've been invited to be a Twitch affiliate. You might think, what does that mean? It means you can start making cash from your streams. And the next section that's coming up in just a few minutes, I'm going to talk about exactly how that works. I'm going to talk about 3 different ways that you can make money in Twitch, and 1 way that you can make money outside of it. And look, you might hit affiliate, that's great. For some people, this can take a little while. This might not happen in your first 30 days of streaming. It might not happen in your next 60. Like, it happens at different paces for different people. So don't be disheartened. If you're starting your Twitch journey, you're creating content, you've done your 7 different streams, you've done 8 hours total, but maybe you only had an average of 2 viewers. Maybe you've only got 30 followers. Like, you might not hit those other numbers just yet. With it, this is a rolling 30-day period. So at some point, you're going to hit that number and you'll get the email. Once you've got that, you're good. The second thing that you can do is eventually you can become a partner. And Twitch will, again, when you hit these requirements, they'll email you an invite. They'll go, congratulations, you have been eligible for a Twitch partnership. Here's what you've done. You've streamed on 12 different days. So that's quite a jump from 7. 25 hours streamed combined. Again, it's quite a jump from the 8 before. And this is the big one. This is the one that's really difficult to hit. Average of 75 viewers across your videos. It might not sound like, you might go, I know 100 people. It's quite hard to get them to watch every video for 25 hours. Like, that's quite a big ask. It depends how good your friends are. So it's not always the easiest thing. And look, I put down there, we need to learn to walk before we can run. Aim for affiliate first. It's a great starting point, and actually it lets you earn money just the same as the partner does, but you just get better rates as a partner. And I'll explain that in just a moment. But those are the 2 things we need to aim for. Is once we set up our account, we start live streaming, we need to hit that affiliate mark to start making money within Twitch. Let's go to the next slide. I've got a couple more points before I go into the money-making stuff. I just want to talk a little bit more about the basics first, before we go on to the advanced stuff, and before I really dive into the next level of detail. And this is to test. Literally, if some of you were waiting for this stream, you might have noticed this. For anyone watching it in real time, I've gotten away with it like an absolute champ. You won't know whether your setup works fully until you hit the go live button. That can be terrifying. Like this stream, this exact video, we're streaming this live to YouTube, and then it'll be available for you to play back later. I hit go live about, what would it be, 30 minutes ago. And it worked for about 15 seconds. And then it just crashed. The internet went, can't do that. No, and it fainted. And it crashed. We had to stop and start again. Trust me, like I've probably done a whole host of streams now. About half of them, I haven't like gone completely wrong, but maybe the sound wasn't working at first, or my video was rotated, my head was sideways. Like something's happened that I just didn't expect. Get ready, spend 30 minutes preparing to go live at a certain time. Everything looks good, all the numbers are great, you hit go live, and sometimes just something unexpected happens. The cable's knocked loose, maybe something that was working earlier doesn't, your washing machine could be whirling away in the background, whatever it is, something might happen that is unexpected. And the only way to learn is to test. The only way to really know what the quality is like, how do you sound, how do you look, is it smooth or are you jittery? Is it lagging a little bit or is it crystal clear? The only way to know that stuff is to test. Please don't be afraid to test. Don't go, oh, I don't want to go live and test it because people might see. Trust me, if it's your first ever stream, people aren't out there waiting for it. They're watching the big streamers they've been watching for the last 12 months. They haven't found you yet. Let's use that as an opportunity to test, and then what we can do is we can go out and find them later. Okay. Cool. Here's one for you, a top tip. This was the biggest tip that was told to me by a friend of mine who's been streaming for about 12 months. When I started, I said, look, what's the bit of advice? What's the insider knowledge? What's the one thing that you would tell to a new streamer? Just give them one piece of advice. What's the one thing you would give to a streamer as a piece of advice? And they went, look, people can forgive bad video. Maybe your internet connection's not amazing and it skips and lags a little bit. Maybe you have to reduce the quality of your video. Like just on this YouTube video, you'll have the little cog in the corner. You can select whether it's 1080p or 720p or 480. You can select the quality. You might have to go down some brackets of quality on your video. People can forgive that. People can forgive that. Like they can get over that. What they won't forgive is bad sound. If you're using a a 15-year-old microphone that you've left out in the snow one year and is being dropped and battered when you've moved house. Like if you're using something that maybe is echoey or quiet or tinny or scratchy, you know, sometimes when a headphone jack, not that we use them too much these days with a lot of the wireless headphones, but when a headphone jack is a little bit broken and you get that static, that feedback, or possibly, like I said earlier about a washing machine going in the background, there's a loud background noise. If there's something wrong with your sound, people aren't going to stick around as much for that. They can forgive bad video, but not so much sound. So if you're going to give your time, your energy, and your focus on getting anything right, it's let people hear you crystal clear. That's the thing you've got to focus on. It doesn't matter about what's in the background and the backdrop, what pictures are back there, what pots and pans, whether or not it's jittery. People will get over that as long as they can hear you. Right, let's dive into it, everyone. The bit you've been waiting for. How do you actually make money from Twitch? How does it work? How do you actually make money? So I'm going to talk about this as if we've just reached affiliate. We've hit those first benchmarks, because remember, that's the goal. Like anyone can make a free Twitch account, but that's the point where you start making money from within Twitch. So as soon as you hit affiliate, adverts can be played on your stream. It gives you a little tick box. Would you like adverts to be played on your stream? Yes or no? And if you tick yes and put adverts on, it will say, oh, how frequently would you like them? Every 30 minutes, every 60 minutes? Would you like one right at the beginning of your stream? You get to kind of play around with the settings of that. But if you have adverts on your stream, every time someone watches that advert, you will get a very small amount of ad revenue. And like the reason I'm kind of starting with this is that this probably isn't going to be the one that makes you all the big bucks. This probably isn't going to be your big earner. This isn't going to be the thing that keeps all the lights on and you can retire early on the adverts. The reason of that is the more people that watch, the more money you make. It's a good system. What you'll find is that unless you have a huge number of viewers, the amount you make is really small. So for me, like maybe I get 50 people. If I'm lucky, you can watch a stream. Like, that's a great number to aim for. Like, if you aim for 50 people on a stream, that's an amazing number to aim for. And half of them watch the advert. I might get like 10p for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know the exact numbers. You can research them, they'll be online, but it's pennies. We're talking pennies, not pounds. It's a real low number at first. It's a real low number. So until you're getting thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of viewers, the advertising stuff's not going to be huge, but it will add up. It'll be something you forget about, and then suddenly you get a check going, here's your advert money. It's like, oh, that's quite nice. Thanks for that. Cheers, Twitch. So number one way to make money, first of all, is adverts on your stream. The second thing that happens is it enables your channel to be open to subscriptions. What are subscriptions? It's where an individual can subscribe to your channel. They go, I would like to subscribe to your channel. And you get to set a series of benefits for when someone subscribes. So this could be things like, if you subscribe to my channel, you get ad-free viewing. You won't have any adverts. You won't have any ad breaks. You don't have to listen to any annoying adverts on my stream. Whatever that is, you can get the ad-free viewing. You might also have it that they get to, maybe they get a link to a private stream. Maybe you do a private stream once a month to your subscribers and they get something exclusive. Like, you get to set the benefits for this, get creative with it. Don't give too much away, but have some fun with it. And the way it works is people buy a subscription. So I put a little picture on the screen. There's 4 different types. You have an Amazon Prime subscription, I'll talk about in just a second. A $4.99 one, a $9.99 one, or a $24.99 one. They subscribe to your channel at one of those tiers, your 1, 2, or 3. Now you get half the money, Twitch gets half the money. Like, this is how they make their cash. You might be sitting there thinking, well, this sounds great, but what's in it for Twitch? This is how they make their money. They will get a portion of this subscription. When you're an affiliate, it's about half. When you're a partner, I believe they give you a bit more because you're contributing more, you're bigger, you're getting involved more. They will give you a larger percentage of this. But for most of us, we're going to take about half. So actually, out of $5, we're getting $2.50 per subscription. It's not bad. Depends how many people subscribe, right? 10 people do it, you're getting $25. 100 people do it, you're getting $250. It might start to add up. Here's the really important one I want to talk about. Amazon Prime members get one free subscription per month. So they get to subscribe to someone absolutely free once a month. It doesn't cost them anything. It doesn't cost the user anything. But you, the streamer, you still get the same amount of money as the first tier subscription, the $4.99 one. So for example, if you were streaming some content, I'm an Amazon Prime user, I can give you my Prime subscription. You see on that list, it's the first of the 4. I can give you my Prime subscription. It doesn't cost me anything, but you still get $2.50. Now this is really nice because actually you don't even need to get some people to pay you money. They're already paying for Amazon Prime. They've got this subscription. You know, when I first started, when I first hit affiliate, a lot of my friends that they might only tune in for 1 or 2 streams a month, they used their Amazon Prime subscription on me. They said, yeah, I'm not using it on anyone else. Here, have my Prime subscription. Suddenly you've got 10 friends that do it. You've just made $25 and they've not spent a penny. Again, you can't live off this stuff, but it all adds together. When you get a little bit of money from adverts, a little bit of money from these subscriptions, it's starting to build up, isn't it? It's starting to come together towards an actual income. And obviously, the more viewers you have, the bigger your community, the more people will subscribe. The third way is something called cheering with bits. So when people are interacting with your stream, they can chat in a little chat box at the side. Everyone can publicly comment and chat and interact with you. But what most streamers have set up is that when somebody cheers with bits, it doesn't just appear in that side chat, it actually comes up on the screen. So it's almost like a more in your face, a more public, a more personal connection way of interacting and being part of the stream. You're not just in the chat box on the side, you're coming up on the feed, you're broadcasting a message, you're being more publicly out there. And the way they do this is very smart. And again, this is how Twitch make their money, people. Twitch have created a currency called bits. You buy bits with your own real money. So I could maybe buy 500 bits or 1,000 bits. If I remember rightly, it ends up being about £1 for 100 bits, something like that. So I could buy 500 bits for like a £5, something like that. And I could cheer on someone's channel. I could go, oh, I would really like to say hello and ask how they are. I go onto your channel, I spend my 500 bits, my £5, and I go, look, hi, how you doing? It's been a while. It would flash up on the screen, you would see it. It's a more prominent way. I've interacted with the stream I've broadcasted. That user, that participant, that viewer feels a little bit special. What they've really done is they've spent a £5 on you. Now again, you don't get the full amount because Twitch keep a bit. That's how they make their cash. Just like the subscriptions, they're going to keep about half and they're going to give half to you. And what you'll find is that not every single person will cheer with some bits. Not every single person will give you this almost donation, this way of broadcasting a message, getting involved, but some will. And it's another thing that will compile and add up and build. So all in all, they've given you 3 ways to make money. This is what happens when you hit affiliate. We have these 3 methods to make cash. We get adverts on our videos, people can subscribe to us, and they can give us bits. Obviously, the adverts isn't going to be huge. The subscriptions and the bits, Twitch take their own cut. So I wanted to include a fourth method. I can't say. And this one is, everyone, sales and donations. And I'm looking at this with an angle of it's outside of Twitch. Once you've built up a community, once you get people that are regularly viewing your stuff, you just get people that are chatting, they're getting involved, maybe they're interacting with you on social media. We've built up a community. We can start to offer them things. Maybe you decide that I've made a really nice logo. I would like it on a t-shirt, on a cap, on a sticker. I'd like it somewhere. You could start to create merchandise. You could create a separate donations page that's outside of Twitch. Maybe use something like Patreon or your own website or whatever it is. And the reason I'm suggesting outside of it is that if people are going to donate a £5 to you, they can do it through Twitch. Cool. We're going to take like 50% of it. So you're only really getting £2.50, $2.50, wherever you are. If we do something external, if someone was to buy a t-shirt instead, if someone was to donate through an external page, whatever it is, maybe they just donate through PayPal. But you can do that, it's simple enough. If they do it external, you get all the cash. And in my opinion, if someone's donating to you, it's because they appreciate your content and they want to contribute to help you improve and carry on and maybe buy better equipment, just like level up your setup. If they're trying to contribute, surely they want all the money to go to you. Hey, maybe they want to contribute, but they don't just want to give money away for free, but they'll have a free t-shirt, or they'll have a t-shirt, sorry, for 15 quid, for 10 quid, whatever it is. So merchandise, something outside of the box, something external is a great option to look at because you're going to keep a lot more of the money. You're not giving so much of it away. You're going to keep hold of a lot of it. Okay. This is what we're going to do. I've got just a few more points for you before we wrap up this session, and it's that I want to focus in on the one thing you need to do most. We've talked about figuring out your setup. We've talked about how the actual thing works and what we do next, building a profile. And actually, what are the 4 different ways to make cash in Twitch? But none of that matters if you don't have any viewers. You can't get money for adverts if no one's watching your stuff. No one's going to buy your t-shirts if you don't have a community. So actually, the one thing you need to do most and where you should spend most of your time is promoting. Is going out there, telling people what you're doing, telling people that you're an opportunity, you're an option. If they're going to sit down and watch TV, say TV loosely, like watch someone, they probably don't even know that you're doing it. They might love your content, they might get along with your personality, they might really agree with what you're doing, but they just don't know you exist yet. You need to tell them. So here's my first tip for promoting is that watch and engage with other streamers in a similar area. People doing similar stuff. If you're gaming, find someone who's playing the same game regularly. If you're a musician or a band, find other bands that are similar and have got a good audience. If you're an artist, communicate with other artists out there. Watch their streams, type messages in the chat, engage with them. And I've specifically put there, like, please, please, please don't hop into don't find a streamer with 1,000 viewers, hop into their chat and say, hi everyone, I've just created my own stream, you should watch it here. That will get you one thing, banned from their channel. They won't deal with it, they'll just pick you straight out. They'll go, no, he's just trying to poach, he's trying to feed off of their thing. But we're not trying to beg for the views, we're not trying to poach other people's viewers. We're interacting as part of a community. What I found personally, and I've done this a few times, for the games that I play, I have joined in the chats and the streams of other popular streamers. And I'll talk to people, I'll start conversations, I'll reply to questions, I'll ask questions. I've become a known name. So when people see my username, they go, I've spoke to that guy before. Some of them even will follow my account. So I've seen that guy a bunch of times. I wonder what he does. They click on my profile, they see the About Me section, they see the banner, they see the picture. They might even see some of my previous videos and check one of those out. Like, you see how that works. Once we're interacting with people, they'll get curious and they'll find you. We're not begging for them to leave their favorite streamer and come to us. We're interacting as part of a community. Cool. Use social media. Like, this is my next tip. You're probably on it anyway. You're probably living lives on TikTok. Maybe you're looking at different forums and threads on Reddit. You could be in Facebook groups about certain topics and hobbies. Maybe you're using Instagram for reels and things like that. You're probably using this stuff already. Why not just create something that's dedicated to your stream? That's how TV shows are promoting themselves anyway now. You're just the next big TV show waiting to happen. Just got to get out there and start promoting yourselves. Use social media, create some interesting clips, make some good TikToks and reels, stuff that's going to grab people. Put it in front of your audience, and then they're more likely to pay attention. Use the TikTok stuff, use the Reddit stuff, use Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. Start with your strengths and start promoting it. And finally, I just wanted to show you some other tools. Before I get to my closing thought of the session, is here's some other tools that might help. You might have heard of these, which if so is great. If not, I'll just give a quick rundown. The first one is called Canva. It's an app you can get on your phone, and you can also use it on like PCs, laptops, that sort of thing. But I use mine on my phone all the time, and it's basically like graphic design in your pocket. It's great for making infographics, interesting posts for social media, that kind of thing, because I might want to put on my Instagram story, what's my schedule for the next upcoming week? Maybe I want to have my logo in the corner, some titles, some text with the different timings, some pictures of the games I'm going to be playing. I might want to have something a bit more complicated, and actually that's a bit nice and professional. I can use Canva to make a really good graphic that I can put up there for it. Second is Printful. If you are looking to create merchandise, Printful is print on demand. So you can create your own t-shirt designs, create your own caps, whatever it might be. And instead of having to order 500 units of it and have it sat in your lounge, when someone buys, Printful are notified, they make the t-shirt and send it straight to the customer. So you never touch the stock. So it's like print on demand stuff. Someone orders and they get the t-shirt, and you don't have to faff around with it. It's a great way of doing business with merchandise. So check out Printful. And then finally, the one I put down there is Streamlabs. And you can just go live directly through Twitch, but you can also go live through third-party programs like Streamlabs. And this gives you a little bit more flexibility with the stream's design. So you could put a nice border around it. You could change some of the color schemes. You could put a page that comes up saying starting soon, 5 minutes before you go live, and then it comes to your face. Like, there's different ways you can mess around with this stuff, have a slightly cleaner design and grab more attention with your viewers. So Streamlabs is a great one to experiment with. There's plenty of guides online, so I'll have a look at that too. Okay, here's my closing thoughts. And this is that there are two types of people out there. And I know because it's exactly the same for me. There are those that like to do the do. There are those that like to be the entertainers. They like to play the games. They like to play the music, paint the pictures, do the art, whatever it is. Maybe the influencers, they're the ones that like to do the talking. And then there are those that like to be watchers. They're the ones that like to digest the content, watch people playing games. I know, like, a lot of my friends are gamers, and there'll be some of them that they'll probably spend 10% of their time watching others and 90% playing. And then it's the flip side. I know some people that they only spend about 10% of their time playing games, and the other 90% they prefer to watch others play games. Now, that's not me. I like to do the do bit. I like to play the game. So for me, it took a long time to realize that there are people out there that just watch. I remember when I started, I had a bit of imposter syndrome. I sort of sat down on the sofa and thought, why would someone watch me play games? Like, I enjoy playing games. It's great. If I can set a camera up in front of me, happy days. Easy enough to do. But why would someone watch me? And it took me a little while to comprehend that. And it's just, trust me, you are entertaining in your own way. There's going to be someone that really clicks with your personality. Someone that really gets along with it, really relates to it. Maybe they find it funny, maybe they find it engaging, maybe they like to laugh when you jump if you're playing a horror game. It could be that they just really like your music if you're in a band. They could love your art style. They could really appreciate the views you're talking about when you're chatting, whatever it is. There's someone that's going to be entertained by you. And actually, we almost need to like hush the voice in our head that's going, why would someone watch you? Because they will. There are people that are watchers out there. I told you at the beginning, like, it's not just about going live, it's about putting on a show. You need to kind of release your inner entertainer, create some cool content, have some fun with it. And there'll be people out there ready to watch. Once they discover your stuff, they'll love it. We just need to promote, get it out there, and just start. Crack on. We won't know until we test, right? It's the only way we know this is going to work. Thank you very much for tuning. Think like a rebel, how to make money on Twitch. This video is going to stay up and stay live for you to tune into later. And for those of you tuning in at a later time, thanks for coming by and watching this. It's going to keep going live throughout the week so you can digest this when you want. We'll be back with more content, so keep an eye on the channel. We'll have some guest appearances coming up, some other great topics, and some stories from young entrepreneurs that have been absolutely killing it for years. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.